All right. All right. This is Dan Bauer. I wanted to go over. I know I'm, a day and a half late on Nvidia earnings, but I wanted to go over Nvidia earnings because it's absolutely exceptional. All right. If you get any value from this video at all, please hit that like and please subscribe. Um, I'm going to get right into this. So, Nvidia announces financial results for fourth quarter in fiscal 2024. All right. So, this is freaking mind blowing because we have to understand it's absolutely mind blowing what they're doing. But a lot of people are just focusing on data center revenue. But oh my gosh, this company has so much more than that and is growing so fast in so many other areas. It's absolutely incredible. I'm not saying that data center isn't something to focus on because it is their biggest driver of revenue this past year. But I think it grows even more. I think Nvidia brings in $100 billion in revenue over this next year. Uh, just the way that they're scaling. Let's look at it like this. As soon as Taiwan Semiconductor finishes those fabs in Arizona, what's that going to do for NVIDIA's ability to supply the demand that they have because they have so much demand that they can't meet it with their supply? Okay, all right. Now, let's get into the numbers. Record quarterly revenue of $22.1 billion, up 22% from Q3 and 265% growth from a year ago's quarter, right? Record quarterly data center revenue of $18.4 billion. So, I mean, they only had about $4 billion in everything else in the quarter, but still, wow, right? $18.4 billion, up 27% in Q3 and 409% from a year ago. And record full year revenue of $60.9 billion, up 126%. I'm saying, like, if they continue to scale, we're seeing $100 billion in revenue out of this company. Especially as, like Jensen Huang said in the conference call, the earnings call, he said that basically we see continued demand through 2024, 2025, and beyond for growth. I think that's an incredible thing to look at. I think that's an incredible thing to know. The things that they are talking about doing, I mean, they're in everything. He said, we're turning every business, every kind of business into an AI business. And I think he's right. I think that's where the world is going, and it is showing. Let's take the biggest market caps in the world. Let's take the biggest market caps in the world. Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, not Nvidia, but Google, Tesla. Now, Apple, not so much, but I'm assuming Apple with their Vision Pro and a few other things they're probably working on is going to be a contributor to this. And I bet they're already a contributor. But so these biggest companies, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Snowflake, I could go on and on, Adobe, all these biggest companies here are customers of NVIDIA, and they've got the most money. And guess what company is a benefactor of all of that? NVIDIA, right? So let's go here. Today, NVIDIA reported revenue for the fourth quarter ending January 28th, 2024 of $22.1 billion, up 22% from the previous quarter and up 265% a year ago. We covered that. For the quarter, GAAP earnings per diluted share was $4.93, up 33% from the previous quarter and up 765% from a year ago. Like, if this isn't blowing your freaking mind right now on a company that's over $1 trillion market cap, on a company we're not talking about growth from 22 million to 100 million, or 100 million to 200 million, or 1 billion to 2 billion. We're talking about major, massive moves, billions in growth each quarter. It's absolutely absurd. Non-GAAP earnings per diluted share was $5.16, up 28% from the previous quarter and up 486% from a year ago. I'm going to tell you what, NVIDIA is literally is literally at like $800 a share right now. I'd say it's about 800. Yeah, 805 pre-market right now. Okay, so if you don't think this isn't going to 1,000 or more ASAP, like super quick, you're tripping. Especially with the way that earnings call went, it went so freaking well. I might do another video when I get my other screen on just Nvidia's earnings call and point out some of the most impressive things about it. But let's just keep going. For fiscal 2024, revenue was up 126% to $60.9 billion. GAAP earnings per diluted share was $11.93, up 586 from a year ago, or 586% from a year ago, excuse me. Non-GAAP earnings per diluted share was $12.96, up 288% from a year ago. Absolutely incredible. Now, one of the things is, so Wong's on the earnings call talking about like this is a transition from general computing, computing to accelerated computing, general purpose computing to accelerated computing. And who's the only real player in that game? I mean, you got AMD with their small little tidbits, and you got Nvidia, you got Intel, but then you got Nvidia whipping their big old schlong out on everybody like, hey, we the big dick around here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what Nvidia is doing. It's absolutely incredible. Accelerated computing and generative AI have hit the tipping point. Demand is surging worldwide across companies, industries, and nations, said Jensen Huang, founder and CEO of NVIDIA. Our data center platform is powered by increasingly diverse drivers, demand for data processing, training, and inference from large cloud service providers and GPU specialized ones, as well as from enterprise software and consumer internet companies. Vertical industries led by auto, financial services, and healthcare are now at multi-billion-dollar level. Okay. Wait, I think I said this in my last video, but wait until full self-driving, autopilot, whatever you want to call it, goes diverse and everybody's car has it. Two benefactors, Tesla, because they're the leading team. They're the winners in that space. They're the first movers. They've been working on it. They have the most data on it. And NVIDIA. If you listen to Tesla's not last earnings call, but like I think it was Q2 earnings call of 2023, where Elon comes out and says, we're buying as many NVIDIA chips as we can get our hands on. What happens when NVIDIA comes out with the H200? What happens when NVIDIA figures out how to serve the Chinese market while working around the regulations that are set up or within the regulations that are set up on China, What happens then? We just watched China's revenue go from like 20 to 25% of NVIDIA's, or China's contribution to NVIDIA's revenue go from 20 to 25% a few quarters ago, all the way down to mid-single digits percentage. So what happens when NVIDIA figures out how to fix this shit? Boom, back up to 20%. Like, where's the revenue going then? Where's the revenue and the profits going then? Are we going to see a $30 billion quarter this coming year? Mind blowing. Like, we have to not miss anything. We have to be on top of our game here. We have to understand all aspects of the business, where it's going, and how many other businesses this affects, and who are the biggest benefactors of this. This is the single biggest thing that is happening right now. It's absolutely the beginning of it, and this is going to be a 5-10 year thing. Think about like cloud in 2010 with Amazon AWS. Think about it now. Think about Google back then to now. Think about all of the smaller companies that are going to benefit in such a tremendous way. Palantir, where's that market cap going to go with its ability to drive profitability for other companies? It's outlandish. Let's keep going. All right. NVIDIA RTX, introduced less than 6 years ago, is now a massive PC platform for generative AI, enjoyed by 100 million gamers and creators. The year ahead will bring major new product cycles with exceptional innovations to help propel our industry forward. Come join us next month or at next month's GTC, where we and our rich ecosystem will reveal the exciting future ahead, he said. Well, I'm definitely going to be listening to the webcast, watching the video, whatever they got, I'm watching it. Nvidia will pay its next quarterly cash dividend of 4 cents per share on March 27, 2024 to all shareholders of record March 6, 2024. All right. So what do I think is going to happen? Remember what I said? I put in the title, keep buying, don't stop buying. This thing's going to go. It could double up from here, and I wouldn't be freaking surprised. It could go from a $2 billion. It's gonna swallow up Microsoft and Apple and market cap size. I think, maybe they don't make quite as much money right now yet, but think about like how integrated their systems will be into everything. Think about where Microsoft is and how integrated they are into everything. And to think about how NVIDIA is going to be integrated. We have to look at it from that perspective. Microsoft is integrated into offices, into everybody's phones. Well, except Apple phones. Maybe even Apple phones. I've never had an Apple phone. But they're integrated into pretty much everything tech. But what Jensen Huang was talking about is that we're turning everything into AI. Every business we can make in AI, it's going to happen. That's what's going on. I doubt that the landscaper guy's job is really going to be affected too much by AI. You know what I mean? Or the guy who puts a pool in. But at the same time, could it be? What happens there? I don't know. It's hard for me to understand that aspect. A landscaping company or somebody who mows lawns. Now, if they start coming out with AI lawnmowers, they'll mow the lawn by themselves while you mow another lawn. Okay, I can get that. I can understand that. But think about warehousing and automated warehousing and Symbotic. I've said this many times about Symbotic. That's going to blow up. I'm thinking Walmart invested another 10 million shares into that. So they bought an equity stake in there again, into Symbotic. Symbotic's going to be huge. Huge. They're talking about a $500 billion total addressable market. It's absolutely incredible. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not going to go too much into anything here. We pretty much covered the basics. I want to say, okay, so highlights. NVIDIA achieved progress since its previous earnings announcement in these areas. So fourth quarter revenue was $18.4 billion in data center, up 27% from the previous year and 409% from a year ago. Full year revenue rose 217% to a record $47.5 billion. There's so much more to go. I'm just going to go through the companies here. Think about how Google and NVIDIA are working together. Amazon, and so forth. And look, okay, so people can say that AMD's Ryzen series 7000, 8000 is badass. It is. NVIDIA's eating their lunch. Gobbling them up. Absolutely gobbling them up. I don't know how else to say it other than, dude, if you're not invested in NVIDIA, I don't know what you're freaking doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you wouldn't be. This is the single biggest, baddest company in the world right now. This could change, but I want to keep the video short. I just wanted to go over some key facts. I'm going to do another thing on the earnings call tomorrow if I got that next extra monitor. But anyways, thanks for being a part of the journey. If you got any value from this video, please like and subscribe.